bâti au moins Nengo. Mon temps dit est à Moumoué, on s'abat des frères, moi, il croit. Tu là, le caillou. Quand on soit du roi, allez, envoyez, bâti au roi. Et là-haut, Abela le caillou. Nivito Jobai, Nivito Noba, Martissimo Caillou. Manager Didi, ouais, t'es jamais forcé. Si tu connais, tu connais. L'animateur Choco, Noska Yassin de Toyebi. L'homme a tout fait pour Mivito. Aniché les deux. C'est moi, dis-moi. Attends, nous, yon bébé. Pété, mon temps, nous, bâtio. On a développé, well, no, Kenny. Adieu, dans your summer, they put a bayon. Oh, me, cause it's double. The man, we're talking now. I'm on the way jogging now. Oh, but you are on the way jogging now. Cause you take cause you don't know. Memory now, I feel away more. Oh, they are, but you are more now. We'll tell you when I'm there. Yeah, Dalico.
Good evening, folks. Samson to Republic Radio. I hope I'm audible. I'm trying to, of course, I am the producer here, so I'm trying to do my best here this evening. We have some serious discussion here to carry out tonight. I want to thank all of you that are listening. Please share this video to as many brothers and sisters as possible. Please share this video. Please share it to as many people as possible. I want to thank all of you again for tuning into Republic Radio. Thank you very much. Thank you. And I think I need to lower there until I put my whatchamacallit on here. Thank you. Please share this video to as many people as possible tonight. It's very important that we do so. Please bear with me. Samson To, bear with me. I don't know why I'm not getting my stuff. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Okay, just bear with me because I got to hear myself. And if I'm not hearing myself, then I'm having issue. So please bear with us here tonight. Okay. Well, I hope I'm audible. I think I am. Okay. Again, thank you. Safety. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you. As we approach the 2025, only through you that these things are possible. Because of you, we are here. My Lord, continue to bless us. My Lord, give us the opportunity. My Lord, we ask for you to extend our lives. Thank you. Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for making us to be here. We ask, my God, that you continue to carry us through. As the next year comes around, we ask that you put us through as well. Yes. My Lord, we ask that you bless the Republic of Liberia. We ask that you bless the people of the Republic of Liberia. Bless the President of the Republic of Liberia. Give him long life. Whatever he touches in the interest of the Liberian people, that yes, indeed, he will be blessed. Whatever it is, though, that he knocks in the interest of the Liberian people, that indeed those will be open through your name. Only in your name, my Lord, we want to thank you again tonight. Thank you as we come out here, my Lord. Please, whatever envies that we have in mind, we're human being like any other person, whatever jealousy we have in mind, take it out of our system here tonight. We ask, my Lord, that you continue to guide us. We ask that you bless the whole country, the United States of America. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Okay, folks, I'm a little bit late, so please bear with me. Bear with me as I go through my normal routine here. I'm a little bit late tonight. We will be discussing. Okay, Fatima. Thank you, madam. Thank you. Thank you. You say you can hear me, but you don't want us to appreciate you guys and the thing you're doing for us on the show. We really, really want to appreciate you. But I will continue to honor you and Sister Esther for you to provide those pictures so we can put something together, some sort of a mosaic, put it together for you guys to be able to, so people will know how we appreciate you very much. Again, Samson to LeBron Public, welcome, welcome. Share this video to as many brothers and sisters as possible. Tonight we will be discussing the collapse of the bridge, Sesto River Bridge over there in Grand Bassa County. And I have with me engineer Victor Smith, who's going to help me to carry out that process tonight. We'll do the first half of the process, just Victor and I having some sort of an engineering conversation, and then we'll send the rest out to the rest of the group, and hopefully they'll be able to join us. Let me welcome Mr. Smith here, Engineer Smith, former Public Works Minister. Engineer Smith, good evening. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Samson. Thank you for inviting me again on your show, and my sincere appreciation to the amount of work that you are putting in me informing our people. And as I said, I am available at any time to provide my understanding and expertise as it concerns the infrastructure development of our country. So thank you again. I come here again with an open mind, not to brag on what I know, but just to share my own experience with what I have learned and what I've practiced for the last 20 plus years in this profession as a civil engineer. And
Thank you.
especially,
How many of those years, man, practice in Liberia? Strictly
uh,
Liberia engineering.
yeah, in Liberia, actually, I've practiced engineering since 1996. I graduated 1996, and I work in.
I mean, your real professional bridge engineer job. I'm talking about that other the LU graduate practicing engineering. I
Since
talk about real.
2010, I think for the
Thank
last
you.
14 years, I've been
Thank
practicing
you.
in Liberia.
Thank you. You have involved. You are a structure engineer, and you have involved in a lots of structure, structure project design and construction in Liberia. Some of your projects that I know is the towers, huge, long towers. You have done the calculations. I worked with you. I've seen it. I was there. I saw some of your calculations. Very amazing. And the reason I'm going behind this here because we're going to talk about this bridge here tonight, and we're gonna discuss this bridge with no hold bar on this here tonight. And I want to establish that I'm not just talking to former minister, but someone who has been very involved. You are also involved in designing bridges in Liberia on behalf of USAID and other entities. Let's put it that way. You are being involved. Your main project, main job you do in Liberia is structural engineering, bridge design. Am I wrong so far?
Yeah, you are right. I'm mostly into structures, both linear and vertical structures. And bridge being a linear structure is part of my work I do in Liberia. Down up to time I've been in Liberia, I have designed over 15 to 20 bridges in Liberia. Some have been constructed, and some are still pending for funding. So yes, I've been bridge area, and I've been doing some other vertical structure design. As you said, the water towers, I'm doing that. And also I've been involved in some forensic engineering analysis for the U.S. Embassy, EU, and I have also done some forensic, design to correct some faults on some of the buildings in Liberia, especially for the water the communication towers. Most of them were erected on building taps, and I had a short consultancy with Orange then, and I did structure analysis of all of them. Some of them were introducing very high low on some of those slabs, and they were advised to take them down due to the structural failure that was imminent. So yes, I've been doing a lot of structural work in Liberia, especially in all kinds of structures,
Thank you.
including communication towers.
Thank you. And I can attest, you and I drove on Newport Street, right opposite the Newport Junior High School, where there was a tower and you and I went over there. Of course, I was there to inspect, which I have no clue what I was looking at. I was just enjoying the view, the fact that we're way on top of the building, and I was just looking all over Monterey. But I didn't tell you that, and because I know you, if I were to tell you that, you say, "Why you can't have for? Get down, go home."
No, but you,
So
you,
I
you, I did appreciate you being there. To
thank you.
give me that
Okay.
moral support as a professional colleague. So I know what you're saying. You're just making fun, but you made some contributions.
Thank you. Well, yeah, but thank you, Engineer Smith. I ask you to join me tonight. You and I gonna go on for about an hour, and then I will bring the other colleagues, those who want to come in, will join us. Now,
Mr. So coming on tonight?
baby, please don't try to ruin my show. This is something serious. Why you want to bring the man in my business again today? Hey man, Mr. Smith, I call you here for us to talk serious. You come and bring the man like me. Don't bring me here.
Man,
I think
he
you
likes you. He
let you stay
likes you.
right where you. Let you stay right where you. Let you stay right where you. For anyone on a very serious note, Mr. So and
Mm.
the rest of the group will be joining us here later on, because I put something in the chat room. Hopefully, people will be able to read it. Now, the reason I brought you out front here tonight, because I know this bridge is in your neck of the wood. Is in Grand Bassa County. And you being former minister of public works, you have I'm sure you were once involved. But let me share this here quickly. This in the middle there with a red shirt with a jeans jacket on. That's Honorable Wood, who was then minister of public work, and you were deputy to Honorable Wood. The only thing I was looking for on there was I was hoping to see you, but I didn't. Are you aware of his visit to this reconstruction project here?
And that is the Table Bridge. Um, yes, I was there, but I was involved in talking to those guys, and Minister Woods was doing the political part of it. That is the Timor Bridge. It's not actually the Cessus Bridge because in that corridor from Buchanan all the way to Greenville, you have 27 major crossings, and within that major crossing, you have two important bridges that are there that have are very long term being served for quite a long time. One is the one over the Cessus River, which is something around 300 to pretty close 450 feet in span, and it's elevated between I think 15 to 20 feet high. And I did an assessment of that particular river crossing at the height of the rainy season. That particular beach is tapped by the water because of the huge volume. It's very close to the Atlantic Ocean. And also the next bridge you talk about is Timbo. The Timbo Bridge is also in Riverside, but this one is the bridge somewhere around almost to the border between Riverside and Sino County, where you refer to as the ITI Bridge. I think that is the one that had a problem. It has some approaches, but it's a Billy Bridge.
But
It's a huge
so this is not a collapsed bridge we're talking about.
no. I think this is much more Timbo. It looks like the one looks like Timbo.
Okay. I, I
Mhm.
I will agree because I'm going to be showing you another picture here. So the reason I'm showing you all of these pictures because we will be discussing some serious issue here. Let me put on this other one here. So quite recently, Minister of Public Works, on the current minister and on a current deputy. In fact, the deputy is in the middle there. Our good friend, Prince
Mhm.
Tama, a seasoned engineer as well. They have gone in to inspect this bridge, and according to them, the bridge was supposed to be opening here very shortly. They said. Now,
It was actually open.
yes, okay, okay, all right. So let me. This is Prince Tama, Deputy Minister for Public Works Technical Affairs, in the middle there. So I'm sure he must have inspected and make sure that this bridge was functioning. Let's go over there. And I don't want you to go deep into the structure analysis of this project here. But I just want you to give me a little bit back because I'm showing you some stuff here. These tube curve in tube, because these are not the W section. These are, I believe, curving tube
The
with the
channels,
okay, all right, yeah, channel. Okay, I can
channels
see
and
that.
I-beams.
Okay, so these channels that are going to connect with the I-beam up there, from your own structure analysis, how do these things, because there are many of them, how in a specific area, how do they support the weight of the bridge itself? Just in total English, please. Don't go too deep into it, please.
Firstly, before we start to go into the structural discussion of the bridge, I want to sincerely express my sincere thanks to the team at Public Works, especially the bridge unit, which I established in 2010 when I was a consultant. And I also want to say thanks to them because they are operating that unit under extreme financial problem. That unit was set up to do the conditional survey within a period of 2 years for all the major crossings, especially the bridges, and then they were determining the defects, and those defects were being repaired. But that small unit, I think it's presently headed by Augustine Taylor, a structural engineer that I was part of his training to send him to Tanzania, where he got his degree in structures. A very excellent young man. He's working there. So many thanks to them for the work they are doing and they continue to do. Before even he left, he was part of my team we were launching those billet bridges when those bridges were donated to Liberia by the EU and some of our partners. So many thanks to them. Okay, now let's go back to the bridge itself.
Having a channels with the connections
They,
over there, plate
yeah,
connections.
the bridge, the billet bridges. Some people can call it temporary bridges, but in this time we can say they became permanent bridges because of the financial constraints that are associated with building new bridges. But the way the billet bridge function is that it has what you call flow beams, and those flow beams are made out of I beams. The I beams are like the I sections, and they are transversely placed at maybe something like about between 5 to 6 feet interval, and those ones are now placed on what you call the stringers. Stringers
Right,
mean the beams,
right,
and those ones you see back there in the picture with the X braces, those are part of the stringers, and those are the stringers that goes across upon which those flow beams are connected, and then the stringers then go in and sit on. Either you can put them on the soil and prepare the soil and sit them on it, or you also um, and do special, reinforced concrete abutment and place those ones on it. The particular bridge in question it has a concrete abutment on which it sits, and it has concrete
right,
piers.
and we'll get on that. The reason
Yeah.
I'm bringing
So,
this
mm,
channel and the connection on, it's a support system.
yeah,
That
it's
those
it,
channels, if Liberia has money, you can turn that into a complete steel beam that goes all the way across. But they might
yeah,
have
they serve as girders. You can call them girders
right gutters,
instead of
yeah,
beams.
but
Yeah.
a whole gutter that has no space in between. It's just a metal gutters that go all the way across. But
Yes,
because of this, I believe maybe because they have to do with less financial and things like that. But that's fine. We'll deal with that later. Let me bring in another picture here. This is recently the Minister of Public Works on the same bridge as inspected. They said, and he was now ready to open this bridge up. Okay, this was quite recent, as recent as I believe, as in June or July. when this bridge was inspected. Mr. Smith, let me ask you about while we have the minister picture up here. Let me ask you, those of you that are involved in this type of work, do you have a weight limit on this bridge?
That's why I'm saying, and I continue to say, you need an infrastructure agenda for this country, because it will inform you what to do at and what time. From my own training and from what the ASTRO says, the LRFD ASTRO for highway bridge designs will say, and the bridge manual will tell you that there got to be an interval of 2 years that all the bridges must have a conditional survey. Conditional survey means you really look at the nails and bolts of the bridge and see what defects it has developed for the last 2 years. It becomes very critical. Then you can now put it in a critical stage. When it's critical, it means that it is immediate attention, or it needs immediate correction. And then what you usually do, you should rate the bridge. You rate the bridge, and you have two kind of rating. You have the infantry rating and the operating rating. And most of the time, the operating rating is what you post on the bridge, because it would be the limit by which any vehicle traveling there, any heavy vehicle traveling there, should not go above. But as it is now, I don't
So
think.
let me interrupt you very quickly. Do we have infantry rating bridge in the entire country, Republic of Liberia, right now as things stand?
I
From
don't
your own
think.
perspective.
No, I don't think so. Except they did any rating, or they
So
did any.
what is the infantry rating anyway? Does it say exactly what is implied that
Yeah.
army? Okay.
No, you go on the site first and do the conditional survey, and then you come back to the office and do the calculations. There are set formulas that you have to use to calculate the both infantry rating, and the operating rating. Most of the time, the infantry rating might be higher, but it's better you post the operating rating, because that will be able to keep that particular bridge within the margin of error, so that you can have collapse.
Do they have?
But I don't think they have done, because the last time I wrote a proposal, and before I left, I wrote the proposal for the unit, and I had a discussion with GIZ and also with the Millennium Challenge, then sponsoring ship, to do a complete survey of all the bridges in the country, and then create a database we call a bridge management system. And then in that bridge management system, each bridge we're going to be giving specific number and specific condition and specific records. But as we stand now, I don't think they completed that exercise. They started it, but then they never had enough funding to do it. And I think with the bridges they did were mostly in the western part of Liberia. They didn't do the southern part.
I don't mean to interrupt, because this is your own, I will say, almost like baby, because I mean you're part of the public work family. Every time when I come over there, the first place you want to take me is let's go to public work, and you know everyone over there. In fact, the picture that I just put there earlier, you know many of the people on there. Our own sister Jasia is on there as well, beside Mr. Tamba. But let me ask you this. I asked you earlier, I didn't get a clear answer, and I'll push that on you again. Was there any kinds of bridge low limit on this type of bridge?
No, I said no.
Okay, so there's no limit. There's no limit.
There was no limit. There's a limit. There's a limit per the manufacturer's order.
Did we see that?
Yeah, but we didn't see that. But posting,
none.
I was not done, because you see, as for the better bridges, they come in links.
Yes.
And the links are the function of two things: the load carrying capacity and the span.
Right.
So if you have a longer span, it means you must have maybe 2 or 3 layers of links running in both directions
Right.
to be able to carry the maximum load that you want to.
Right. But
If you,
these
but
bridges
I didn't see
themselves,
that.
these bridges themselves, we got one in total myself. I got one in total, but I know I didn't put it together. But no, very serious though. These bridges themselves, if you the length and the span as you correctly stated, why was, in fact, let me be ridiculous. Why was it that well, from your own perspective, why is it that the Minister of Public Works cannot post the manufacturer posting limit or the bridge load limit on that? Why is it that the government of Liberia cannot post something like that, since it's manufacturer didn't know exactly what the weight's supposed to be on that? And they tell you that when they sell these things to you, they give you the weight limit. Why are they not putting those things up?
Yeah, but Engineer Toe, that's a very good question. But I won't be able to. I'm not the person in charge, but it is important, and it's got to be noted that all bridges in every country should be posted. Weight must be posted, and inspection must be done either on a biannual basis, or maybe if the bridge is considered a fracture critical bridge, then it means you do it annually. So I don't know why they're not doing it. I can't put my hands around it, but by professional ethics and by professional standards, those bridges should be posted so that the users can know, right? They can know that what kind of weight that they can put on this bridge. And another thing that Polaway is really losing on is that once you have posted loads on these bridges, and anybody who's coming to bring in heavier load than what was calculated, then they have to pay Public Works some money. They have to pay for putting that particular load on the bridge.
And this is exactly the reason.
Yeah, and you're going to cause some structural stresses.
Damage. Yes,
or structural damages that by just putting that load there. You say in the US, if we are taking heavier load across the Bay Bridge, they do that early in the morning when the traffic is low. And in fact, they stop all vehicles.
All vehicles, that's right. And in fact, here in California, they have weight limits. And if your weight is more than any other than required, they tell you to take certain route, because that route, those bridges on that route are designed for heavy load, and they will give you the route which you can take safely. But let's go on. I'm going through the structure analysis type D from total way now the real book way. So because I'm trying to establish the reason here is I'm going to be showing you the collapse of the bridge later on. But I want the audience to understand why we are the way we are. Let's go here. So, Mr. Smith, can you see this here?
Yeah, I can see it.
So when I went to Granjide a year or so ago, I went on the Sesto River Bridge as well. And I thought within myself, when I went on there to do fishing, I saw the columns, the piers, and everything. They seem to be solid. Would you not agree with me that this particular piers that we're looking at here with its foundation, does it not seem to be solid?
I can say it from the picture. But like you, when I first visited that bridge, there's a serious scouring that is going on under those footings.
Yes.
And those ones need immediate repairs.
Let's leave the scouring, because the scouring stuff is something that is to fix it. For me, it's not going to be that expensive.
You just have to go there and create dams around it and pour concrete or reinforced cages. That's all. And then you stop it from going. But the piers, they look solid.
Okay.
You can't see any sign of cracks on it.
Exactly. So when I went to Granjide, I like I said, I was on a Sesto Bridge. So on top of the bridge itself, it looked bad. But when I went underneath, I told myself, this bridge gonna last. On the only thing that most likely they're gonna do is to fix the superstructure. But as far as the bottom is concerned, it's gonna last for another 50 or more years. Now, Mr. Smith, look at the span between the piers here, and just looking at it, I would say maybe 100 foot or so. The span.
Is around now. It's a little bit 100.
It's
It
a
might
little
be
bit over 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I think they have 1, 2, if I'm not mistaken, like either because the bridge is around almost 400 feet in span, and they have beside the two abutment, they have 2 piers in the middle, so it might be longer than that.
Okay, all right, but I'm estimating 100. But anyway, from my own total position. But the reason why I'm showing this particular picture is because I believe that the support system, except for the scouring, and folks, when we say scouring, that means the bridge, the rock, and the water, the sand eroding the bridge underneath. That's scouring. You can go down there and catch some fish from underneath the bridge, which I like to do. That's scouring. That's why I like scouring business for. But anyway,
scouring is not like that. Scour is the turbulence caused by the water to remove.
But fish can go there. But fish can hide themselves under there. Where you are, now the main interest that I have. But anyway, let's go off, Mr. Smith, Engineer Smith. This is, for me, the support system here seems to be good. Now, let's go to the main issue here today. Okay, look at this other picture here. The collapse of the bridge is between the abutment and the first, or whatever, I don't know where they start their piers.
The first pier.
Yeah, well, first pier, that could be the last pier if you're counting from what, I don't know what position it is, but I'll go right to left, I mean left to right. So from the abutment to the first piers. Now, Minister Smith, Engineer Smith, from your own perspective, do these things happen overnight? There's no warning whatsoever?
That's a steel structure. And I think the repairs that they did might have compromised the structural integrity of the bridge, especially the low capacity, the low carrying capacity. So when it happened, it was not something that they anticipated to happen this early. But again, if I was in their shoes, because I reached out to a colleague in the Ministry of Public Works this morning when this thing first appeared, and I asked, I said, what did you guys do? They said, I asked him, did you guys rate the bridge? She said, oh yes, he said, okay, we rated the bridge. But we gave special instruction that certain cars should not go inside. But then how will the layman, which is a policeman, know what weight it can carry? They say, oh no, when you see one truck that carry a heavy equipment, then it shouldn't pass. I don't think that was much more information for them. Right. But the little man being little man, they allowed the truck to go. So the minute it hit the approach, it was gone. Because it has just entered the first span of the bridge. So I think there was no early warning for them. It was just abrupt because of steel structure. If it was concrete, it would compromise for a while before it falls. But it is steel.
Do you think? Let me ask you, and this question is strictly engineering now. Do you think there's some sort of an oscillation where you have a harmonic oscillation where you have like a harmonic sign, something like that causes, like the bridge in Washington, Tacoma, Washington back in, I believe it was 1932, when you have that oscillation with the wind blowing the bridge. Like, you think?
No, this is not oscillation. This is not oscillation.
So you think what type of failure? What type of failure will you say this is?
It feels it fell strictly on a live load. It was a live load that caused it to fail. It's not a dead load. Maybe it combined later on, but the live load, because after we repaired the bridge, it was okay. Once they
So
introduce the live load, it failed.
yes,
So where it failed, it is not to the middle. It's almost to just away from the abutment.
right,
So if it is
right.
within a quarter, if there is no quarter of the span still, we can say it could be a shear failure.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
If it's in the
That's what I was
middle,
leading to.
yeah,
Hmm.
if it's in the middle, then it will be a moment failure. But the way I look at it, as close it is to the abutment, that could be a shear failure. And the
Okay,
transcend, which is the flow beam that it had
all
within
right.
the belly bridge, maybe it had a fracture already and was just repaired. So that
Okay,
would cause for it to give way.
okay. Let me
But
go on to the next picture. Let's go on to the next picture.
yeah, again, we are not on site. These
Right.
are
Pictures.
experience that we had in past collapse. Is what we're trying
Right.
to use to analyze this one.
Okay. So here's the other side of it, and this is, in fact, this is one of the reasons why I am saying that the base itself seems to be very stable. But one of the things that I want to point out to you here, why is this log that's stuck in there and nobody from public work or any of the maintenance people, because this law is not part of the bridge?
No,
Why is it that they are not able to remove that? Is there any reason for that? They
I
don't have the
just told
money?
you. I just told you from our opening statement. These guys in the bridge unit are operating on extreme, condition. They are not fully financed. Okay, there's no bridge maintenance crew set aside in the ministry. Now, for this particular crossing, I told you at the height of the wet season, which is dry season, that river can rise up to the top of that particular bridge, to the flow, to the deck, so you can see. And that log was brought there from upriver. It got stuck in there. And if they were giving the bridge unit the correct support, they should have taken a power saw there and dislodged that particular log, but they didn't do it. And in fact, that log got stuck in there. It introduced additional load on those on the deck, on those floor bows or the floor beams.
Right.
That what really
So
happened. I
okay.
think
So
it is
so
lack of.
here's the actual accident here. Where you
Mhm.
have this truck, low bed truck, carrying excavator. Were they not able to say to these people, you can't put this type of weight on this bridge? Those who are, or do they just have a, is, in fact, I never traveled on this road before, so I'm strictly depending on your knowledge. uh do they have gate on that road, on that bridge at all, that you
I
know
think
of?
I think I think lately public works in conjunction with the Ministry of Transport and the I think what the people need say and the police. I think there's a checkpoint there. There's a police checkpoint right before you enter that bridge. In fact, that particular town is a very big town. So yes, there's a checkpoint before that bridge. And in my discussion with my colleagues at the Ministry of Public Works, they informed the law enforcement officers that any truck of this magnitude, having this magnitude of load, should not go on the bridge because they themselves were not sure whether that bridge was going to stand for a longer time. So they decided to restrict the weight. My second question to them was, hey, since the guys can listen, did you do crossbars that could stop them to go in there? They say yes, they put those crossbars there. But again, these guys went and removed the crossbar so the trucks can pass. And those are some of the things that led to the failure of this bridge. Poor instruction, poor management, failure of the police to listen to what the engineers from Polyware said. And now
So let me ask,
and,
let me put you on the spot now. If you were the engineer of public work, someone who have gone to inspect this bridge, besides telling his security to do X, Y, and Z, the fact that you are a structural engineer and you find some serious defect, will you have allowed any car to pass over this bridge at all?
No, we should have closed the bridge. They did the repairs, but I'm not too sure whether the repairs was adequate. So what I would think was, hey, shut down the bridge and let's go and do a complete structure analysis, a complete condition survey, rate the bridge, and prevent these cars from going. But mind you, this corridor is heavily used by loggers, and people are going in the southeast with heavy equipment. So you are restricted that passing them to either go by the way of Nimba, or there's another bypass that you can come through River Says, but you go the upper part of the Cessus River where it is narrow. There's another bridge there that you could use, but I don't think Portway has been able to maintain that road for quite a long time. But it's another detour for that particular bridge. I think if I were there, those are the possibilities I would have first, look at before even opening the bridge to traffic.
So let me ask you this: with this incident today, what do you think is happening at the ministry right now in terms of meetings, conversations, and what are some of the priority that people are setting up right now with this type of stuff? Do they come out and say, you know what, we have similar bridge like this in Nima County and Grand Juliet, let's keep our eyes? You think that's the kind of conversation that's happening right now? Or you think perhaps they're doing it the old Liberian way, let's cover ourselves up, make sure the president it doesn't come out and make errors?
Polo Works is faced with some serious problems. And top on the list is Polo Works is underfunded. If you want to have an infrastructure...
Minister Smith, we just heard recently the Minister of Public Works was giving $22 million. And we got students sitting on the floor in Liberia.
I told you that,
Minister Smith?
No, Polo is underfunded with reference to the budget. Because I'm on record for challenging Gafwan for giving Polo Works already $800 million, $52 million, which is nothing. It's actually 54. I think $2 million goes to salaries and things, and they say 52 million for projects and other things and other things for the ministry. I think that is very low. They are very much underfunded. The second thing, yes, they might have some qualified engineers there, but they are not giving the leverage to work. Polo Works has become a political institution instead of becoming a technical institution. You can see that.
Let's discuss the technical aspect of it, and I'll bring the politics.
Yeah. So the engineers can say one thing, and they say, "Oh, this is what we want to do," but then they are now flat-footed by the availability of funds, and some of the decisions will be non-technical and it will be more political. So Polo Works seriously having a serious problem, and then Polo Works themselves, I have challenged them to come up with an agenda that will be funded through the budget that will spend over a couple of years. And thank God I said the president announced that when he was in Lofa. And it's my hope that the president office and all our colleagues there will be able to put together a good team to go ahead in developing the agenda, the infrastructure agenda. I hope so. They can do that. But Polo is charged. It's really overstressed and it's underfunded. The $22 million you talk about, I think they gave Polo $8 million. And I told them in one of my interviews that $8 million was a waste. They just wasted that money. There was no result. There was no very good result. In fact, it was a political blunder that they made with that money. So forget about that. According to the minister, they gave them only 8 million, and that 8 million they used to go and clean some mud and put some mud in some holes, and the road went right back to where it was.
And that's a song I've been singing here ever since.
It was not thought through. Even during the transition, I raised the issue because I was on the transitional team. I raised the issue. If the president says that no car will be stuck in the mud in your 100 days, in doing a 100-day deliverable,
that's
I
just a
told them
comment.
that could not work.
Yes,
That was a political statement. And the technicians
Minister,
want to talk to the
Minister
president.
Smith, yeah, you and myself been doing good right now. Let's stay on a good track. The president's statement, it is what it is. Please let us. I know as an engineer, I know that statement was not something that I can take to the bank but he's a politician, Mr. Smith. So he have to say that. What I thought would have happened, and I asked Minister Giddens here one time when we had him on ELBC, did you go back to the president and in fact tell him that Mr. President, the no car gonna get stuck statement, it's a political statement, and we most likely not gonna be able to achieve such scan as I would call it. And the comment to me was, well, we did what we could. We talked to the president, and that was about it. But let me come back to you. Folks, analysts, those of you that are listening, I just sent the link out. Now we're going to get into the politics of things now that we've discussed. One more technical question on the Minister Smith, and that is, when you saw the accident where let me put this back up, where the truck fell over on one side, do you think that truck driving from the abutment coming to the first pier, as we looked at it, do you think the truck automatically just listed one side and fell, or you think perhaps you have some sort of a rock and roll that was happening with the truck?
Yeah, and the side it fell on was the weakest side.
Yes.
The other side stood firm, but it fell on the weakest side. And what I want to think on was that when the sway started to happen, he could not go back. Yes. And I believe he wanted to take a quick leap so that he could get to the most strong part, but then it got late. And then he hit the weakest side. The truck went on that side of the bridge.
Okay. Now let's go into the folks. I just sent a link out. Those of you that want to join us, please, and then let's have the conversation. Quite recently, Mr. Smith. In fact, let me ask you this: you think from our own friend, Speaker of Flantin Kofa, all the way down to the layman in the House of Representatives, our own sister Nyambli Kanga, all the way to the lay person at the Senate, do they really understand the infrastructure process at all with respect to Liberia, you think? Or perhaps they just talk, because most of the time when you hear them, the infrastructure, do they really understand the dynamic involved in this whole thing?
But Samson, the answer to your question is glaring in the budget. If our leaders understand the importance of infrastructure, they will allocate enough money for the development of infrastructure. Or may I come back and say, look, this is what we want in the next 2 years, the next 3 years. I strongly believe that across the government, right, they really do not see infrastructure development as a major tax, for any government for the past since Toba died. So yes, they really don't understand it. They are just allocating money because they have to say, okay, let's allocate money there. But if they really understood what the infrastructure is, and that should be the campaign that should be carried out by the Committee on Public Works. But the Committee on Public Works itself does the chairperson or the member on that committee understand the importance of having vibrant and sound policies for infrastructure development in the country? I still don't believe that they have. I think they are just on that committee just to occupy space. I don't disrespect them, they are honorables, but the way they are doing our infrastructure situation in Liberia, I think they don't have interest in it, they don't understand it.
So Minister Smith, let's go further than that. Liberia, in fact, you're a former president of the Liberian Engineering Society, so you are quite aware of the engineering process in Liberia with respect to engineers. Why is it that, because quite recently there was an act that was passed by signed by President Weah to establish Liberian Engineering Society. Now that make you a viable entity. Now, I spoke with the president, Engineer Toll. He and I spoke. I have him here one time. Why is it that these people are not forceful enough in making the case of a strong engineering program or strong infrastructure process or program in Liberia? Because for me, this is one of the things that perhaps if you have a strong whether it be a vertical or horizontal infrastructure process, this is one of the strong economic that make you to be stronger economically. Because when you have these roads, that people going from one place to another, and they are durable. You can drive on them for years. You allow the hinterland, the countryside to develop, because most of the material coming from Monterey, you'll be able to go to these places. But engineers, you people, the engineers yourself know these things. For example, I was at your engineering society conference in Banga about 2 years or so ago, where the minister then asked the engineering society to see if you guys can help her to police those who are bringing inferior steel rod or rebar in this case in Liberia. So why are you guys not trying to connect with these senators and these representatives and go and have a hearing where you will make your case? Is there anything you can tell us this evening on that?
Yeah, me personally, I have reached out to some of the senators because some of them are members of my church, and especially on the construction material with reference to the steel. The steel in Liberia is a mass steel, and it has a lot of defects. And one of the major steel that is not ductile. The steel made in Liberia is brittle. So it has a serious material problem. And we have confronted the chairpersons on those committees. But again, it has to be done in the framework of the institution of engineering society. So I think what the present president is doing now is to put together a technical team that will raise the technical issues and make technical presentations to the both houses. And that's what they are working on now. Perhaps some of us will serve on those committees too and raise these issues. But these are things that the engineering society is supposed to be doing. Now, we issue with this bridge collapse. One of my colleagues said, oh, ISO should get involved. I said, no, ISO cannot get involved. They said, why? I said, if this happens, ISO should be asked by the government, because it is good that if the government invites you, it means you have the authority to give engineering judgment on these things. But if the government invites you and you go there, what are you going to say? Who are you going to make the report to? Are you just doing it because academic? Okay, for me, I just told my students that the last topic in my bridge design class will be bridge maintenance inspection and bridge rating. And that particular collapse that happened, we'll take as a case study what caused the collapse, and we'll do the full calculations on it. But again, the Minister of Public Works must officially invite the engineering society. In this country, we have disaster. Where the federal government does, it calls FEMA. Then what FEMA does, FEMA calls the American Corps of Engineers. And then they come up with the reports, and they send that report over to FEMA. Then FEMA sends it to the federal government. So these are the kind of things we are looking for. But if you are not invited, you will not be able to make any engineering judgment. So we said that in my post today, I said, look, if Ministry of Public Works want a kinetic, evaluation and a kinetic result, not just go in there and say, oh yeah, we can do this, write it into society, and then we'll go there. Or use a private firm. Use a private firm to go and do the analysis for you. Because if you say, okay, we have an emergency, so the PPCC law will not look at some firms that are involved in breach involving breach design and breach inspection. You call them, they go there, they make that report and give it to you. And these are things, public can be running up and down that, oh, breach spoiler. Public Works is now operating in the 1950s, and in this day and age, public works should be what? Policy driven, should not be implementing. So that's why you see most of the things that are going on in the country, that you don't have any clear direction for the development of the sector.
So let's go into it now a little bit. I mean, we're already into the politics side of it now. So this government has a what, $700 and some more budget, $700 and some more $1,000 budget, $1 million budget. From that, from
800 million.
800 million. And from that amount, what exactly, perhaps, if you were given the opportunity to give a figure that perhaps should be given to public work, how much would you say?
I told them that to get the infrastructure going, and I'm on record on that. Give public works at least between 200 to maybe 250 million of that money. And let's do that for the next 5 years. And adequately implement the plans. Don't do selective thing. Adequately implement the plans for 5 years. And you'll see what 250 million will carry you. Because if you do it for 5 years, you are talking about almost, or 4 years, that's about 250 million, 500. You're talking about 1 billion in 5 years. It will do a lot. Because when we did the analysis in 2013 on the infrastructure development of the country, we're looking at $1.5 billion, or no, $1.2 billion to do the ring road. And the ring road will take into consideration the paving of the roads, the stop areas, and the bridges or the crossings. And that's why we went to China. I was on a delegation to go to China. But China was asking for things that was beyond our reach. So that's why that particular deal did not go through. They wanted us to give them exclusive right to Wologisi Mountain because they could give us, if we agree, they were giving us 50% of that money immediately once we agree. But then the president, in her wisdom, said, no, we can't. That is our last frontier for our natural resources. We can't give it to you. So that deal did not go through. So, but if you can do that, do localized, resource mobilization, you can get that $1 billion in 5 years, and a lot of things can be done, and you can create more jobs and also create more income for the government and its people. So I would say give them $250 million to answer your question.
So do you think with that $2.5 billion you're talking about, you think Liberians themselves, and whatever meager resources we have, you think that kinds of money can be generated from the whatever
it
money?
It can be generated. Don't underestimate it like this, the financial strength of our country. But it has to be systematic, and you got to be very strategic with it. We are exporting $100 million worth of gold in 12 months. 100 million. Can you imagine 100 million? And that's just one concession. Do you know how much we are exporting in iron ore? Do you know how much we are exporting in rubber? Do you know how much we are exporting in diamonds? There's a lot of funding that comes to all.
So let's go into it, and this is going to be very sensitive. But knowing you, I will be very careful how I ask my question here tonight, because I know who you are, and I want you to answer the question in a way yeah, we're not taking too much political
No,
shooting range
you
here,
can't. No, something told you have to understand this.
Mister.
You
So
cannot discuss the infrastructure in
yeah,
isolation
yeah,
of
I agree,
politics because
I agree.
come in now because
Mhm.
you need policies, and even if you have those policies, you need those policies to be adhered to by politicians, who's our leaders.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
find it very difficult, or there's not a definite line between infrastructure and politics.
So let me ask you this. Let me ask you, Mr. Smith. You can answer any way you want. I know who you are, so I'm not worried much. But let me ask you this: with all of these information that you have, you're telling us here tonight, what part this infrastructure slowed down or not even moving? What part kickbacks that many of these people that are involved in these projects and what have you? What part kickback have to play in it?
It's an illness. It's a financial illness for all Liberian professionals because it takes out the competent people. Because I, for one, will not want to pay kickbacks for any project.
I know that one
I
perfectly.
won't.
We lose a lot of
I
project
won't.
already. I know that.
I
I
sincerely,
know that
yeah,
a lot
I
of project.
sincerely, I will not go there because I want my leverage. I want to be professional. I want that my work should stand out. Okay, so I don't want to even discuss or even dream of the idea of kickbacks because that's toward it slows the process. It makes for you to lose the qualified and competent people. Because I'm competent, I know my productivity. I know what I can do. I know what I present to you, and I know my capability. Then you tell me, say, "Oh no, I will give a project, but give me something." No, then you can have a project.
And that's why we don't have project today.
Yeah,
Don't get me started.
it's better for me to have. Look, let me
Don't
tell
get
you
me
something.
started on that. Don't get me
Let me
started
tell
on
you
that one.
something. Let me tell you
That was
something.
today. We ain't got no
Yeah,
project.
let me tell you
Don't.
something.
Yeah.
That I've been working for the last 5 years now on USAID projects. On USAID projects,
Use is USAID project.
USAID,
Yeah.
and cumulatively, we have made some money. All right, and as the project ends, there's another one at beginning. There's another one at beginning. So we'll be having work. I haven't over the last 5 years to do a government job. The only government job that I really got involved in by the World Bank project was in NAFA to design the 1.6 kilometer road that lead to the office.
Which
Other than that, yeah.
yeah. Well, I know about that project myself.
Other than that, I have not been involved in government projects. And it's not that I don't want to get involved in it, but it's a headache. Even to get your money from finance ministry is a headache. I did work for a National Port Authority, a semi government company. It took them 4 years and into a court matter before I could get paid. I don't have that kind of strain and energy for that.
So
So I
let's go
better
into
make my
that.
small money.
Let's go into that. Let's go, folks. Analysts, if you are sending a link out, if you still want to be part, that's fine. If not, Victor and myself, we're going to enjoy ourselves on this wonderful Monday afternoon. Victor, let's go into that. I'm not stranger to most of the things you're saying here, but those are things that I cannot say. I don't say those things, but I'm not stranger to them. But let's because I know we'll get something and somebody's and then well, let's leave it as that. But anyhow, let's go into the government not paying on time. Because the first time when you took me to Liberia, and I say you took me because you asked me, you paid my way, you did everything for me to go to Liberia because I have not seen Liberia for almost, and I never got the end of it. You always explain that you never been back here until I brought you in. So I'm making that clear. But when we went back, you have so many young engineers. In fact, one of the young engineer you have right now, he's with I call it the
Better
iron
still.
ore, yeah, the iron ore company. Um,
Yes,
as
that's Joseph Fala.
yeah, yeah, CPU. He's over there. Another young man you had, he's now with the Minister of Public Works. So
It's
many of, in
magical.
fact, yeah, one of the young lady also, she's here in the United States. I spoke with her quite recently. So you have many of the young people that were working on you, and you were not hiding to show anything. In fact, I had a conversation with you one time. To say, Victor, you bring me here, I show these kids all these things, and then all of a sudden they will leave. One of the things that I notice is that they don't, you, when you have government job, they don't pay you. And even to pay
Mhm.
you, how do you then pay the kids, the young engineers? How do you go about not getting paid from the government, but yet still they expect you to train their young people after engineering school?
Yeah, that is a responsibility that I hold dear to my heart. This is my country. I'm under obligation to make my contribution. If that's the way our Almighty God, the great architect of the universe, want me to contribute, I would do that. As I said, I told you before, whatever money I make from USAID, GIZ, and EU, we manage it. And God has helped us too that we are doing ready mix concrete, which is almost like something we sell concrete almost every week. So with all of this, I'm able to take care of my overhead. Sometimes when I really go low on money, I take loans. I take loan at 25% interest rate for 30 days to get my office going. But by right, I'm not supposed to be doing this. Government's supposed to be helping me because I'm contributing to my economy. But again, these are some of the things that we Liberians are doing for our country, honor that people don't know about. And we don't tend to blow our own trumpet because we take it as a responsibility to help our people. So that's how they are paid. We get paid from the consultancy we do, the construction we do, you know, and this ready mix concrete we sell. We're able to get our payroll going. That's what we've been doing for the years over and over. And we are lucky that some of the good guys, some of the kids that pass through our offices and our hands are extremely doing well to the institutions they are assigned to. Father is
Yes.
one of them. I work with him in the office. He got a scholarship to go to Ethiopia to specialize in railroad bridges. I was his advisor. He went through it. He came back to Liberia. I said, go and work with Metal Steel. He doesn't hold back. Many assistants are asking for, he's willing to give it to me. They are part of Alliance. Where they go. Even David is now doing his master's in geodetic engineering, hoping that he will finish by come, I think, May, and he'll be returning home. If he comes, he will join Alliance. So it's not always about me. It's not always about Alliance. It's about our country and on the overall. So we'll
So
always
so
make
it's
contribution.
Master Quick got his master.
Yeah, he got
Now,
his
now,
masters. That was a partly sponsored scholarship from KNTU, and he got his masters. He came work with me for a while, and then
right,
I told him we are not heavily involved in road design, and that was a specialty.
right,
So he at the Ministry of Public Works now. He served as special as
special
technical
assistant
assistant, yeah,
to
special
to
assistant
deputy,
to the deputy minister.
and
So I
Maria,
always wish them the best.
and the other, our other daughter Maria, she's now almost finishing in China.
Yeah, Maria
So
is doing project management. I
right,
think she too will be graduating this year too. And all of them, I intermittently still support them from Liberia because I hold that responsibility to them that I must be there to help out.
right.
Um,
Okay.
money is not all to life, but if I can build capacity, I will definitely do and continue to do that.
Thank you. So I don't see you now. Government being all to you now, and which is something that is good. But let's go on to another brief issue here. Some time ago, about maybe 6 months or so, or maybe a year or so ago, there was a bridge, I believe, was also in Grand Bassa that had the
Mhm.
plates.
That's St. John Bridge.
Right. now, and I was on here showing how to do it, lift the bridge and put the new plate and what have you. I went through all of that
Bearings.
process. Yeah,
Bearings.
the
It's
bearing.
not plate bearings.
Yeah, whatever. To put it's a plate. When I say plate, I plate. But
It's not
anyway,
bearings.
yeah, okay, whatever. To put it on there. But the interesting thing is, instead of Liberian government to spend the money and buy the equipment, they went to Arsenal Matar to borrow the equipment. And Arsenal Matar came and lifted their bridge. Arsenal Matar took the equipment by. So at what point do we own these kinds of stuff for ourselves? So that we don't. So what would happen if Arsenal Matar had not come through? We would have been in deep trouble. And these things,
Look,
yeah, they are expensive, but those are things you invest in. I heard the last time Public has a testing center over there that is not being funded. And you have one of the young, brilliant geotech, Aseve Jr. He's one of the brilliant young Liberian engineer who is a geotech guy, and the testing center is not being funded. How do you expect these young people to really do their job? Suspect, please, if you can help us on that.
the guys are operating Paul as a fire truck. How you government operating Polo was.
When you say fire truck in Liberia, that means they can't look at the fire. They say, okay, oh, there's a fire. Okay, let me go.
When I say
Get
fire
the truck.
truck, they can preempt these things. They can get. They are waiting until the disaster happens before they start working. That issue of bearings that they put a Band-Aid solution on. There was a Band-Aid solution. Like, I still wait to see the repairs. We're not sure. But if they were doing conditional survey as stated by the codes and the Astro standards, they were noted that particular stress from maybe one cycle of inspection, and then they were playing because the bearing doesn't just pop like that. Even when it pops, it means it distributes the load still to the other bearings, because so now you have 3 or 4 bearings on there. So before it pops, you have known, you have put in place the necessary equipment, the necessary repair works, and get the jacks. Because all fantastic they brought a heavy jack, and that's a steel composite bridge. It has a concrete deck, and it has steel trusses and steel girders, and they just jack it up and put it back and repair it. So these things require long-term planning. What is Public Works' annual plan for every year? And what is the achievables for the next 10 years, 15 years? I don't think Public Works got all those kind of things. Even the government said doesn't have those kind of things. So how you think they will go play with buying scoopers, or they will go buy heavy jacks for the bridge? Because the bridge unit could come in there and plan the entire inspections for all the bridges after they are catalog all of them. And by the time they get, what am I hearing myself? Mr.
Mr. So sent somebody who told Mr. So day before yesterday how good Mr. So was on his show, and he's one of the best. So he's saying here now, and that's why you're getting echo.
No,
Mr. So saying.
Let Mr. So come on the show.
No. We don't want him.
No, but you don't determine that, even though you are the host of the show.
The audience said they don't want him.
No, you can
my Esther, then said they don't want him.
Put your vote up, my man.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you, Terry, for joining us. We appreciate it. We're talking about a bridge that collapsed in Liberia here, and Mr. Smith is providing some engineering assessment of what have happened here this evening. Now I send the link out. I hope other people will join us. We're talking about the politics on this here. So let's come to you right away, analyst Collins. Let's come to you here on the
Hi, Mr.
politics
Collins.
side of.
How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Thank you, man.
So the politics side of it, and we're just talking about first thing is government, like bro, they don't let to pay who they want. Ah, Jesus Christ! I told you, I told you, I told you, I
Hey,
told you.
Mr. So.
He's saying in front. Good evening, Mr. So. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll come to you. So,
Wow.
yeah, got ready for you here tonight too.
Minister, how you doing?
How you doing, Mr. So? How's the family doing?
Good, good. Hey, Terry, something great happened here yesterday.
Wow.
All of the liberal friends, you see Jerry Bachman here tonight?
What
No.
is it? What
They
is it?
abandoned
But I thought
him.
the care back was on the way to Liberia.
Oh, but yeah, the man here, the man going, boy, he said he gave up. Terry, the other day, they said, Terry can't deny because I get it audio here, what he said yesterday.
That audio is
That
not
liquor
working.
talk. That liquor talk. Eh.
I missed a beautiful show yesterday. Then.
Oh, man.
Yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for joining. Terry, let me come to you. Mr. Smith have given us the engineering perspective here on that bridge that collapsed. But we're talking politics and money aspect of it. Let me come to you. You also not just a Liberian, but someone who's all over the country at one time doing business. And I mean, you have traveled a lot on most of the bad bridges and most of the bad roads. What do you think is the problem from your own layman perspective? What do you think is the problem with us not being able to achieve some of the achievable items that we should be able to have in our back pocket by now?
Well, I think that's the reason why you got the minister here. I believe, knows exactly the problem. And I may just say from my own layman. But I wanted to ask the minister one question.
Go ahead.
He said the last time I checked, he said he wanted to be president, right?
Well, what?
You said he wanted to be president.
2029.
Yeah, because the reason I'm saying it is because I hear him talking about loan too. So I don't know if that they see Joseph will be, from our president too. Because the president talking about loan today, I hear him talking about.
The man Joseph Michael who alone is talking about it, man.
But
He not living on loan. He not living on loan.
So are we coming for
Joseph
another loan
Michael.
president? I don't know. That why I was just reminiscing.
Wow.
Are we?
if I make the determination to contest for the 2029 presidential position, you will be one of the first person I would tell.
Thank you.
I feel competent. I'm qualified to vie for that position.
And so every one of us.
I like my country, and I think we should give our country the best we can.
Thank you.
Exactly. But to what liberals say, right? I travel on the Sando Highway Road. I don't hear Gideon's talking much about that road. And that road during the rainy season can be very, very bad. Is there any plan in the budget for that particular road in regards to pavement or so? Is there a future plan that they have? Because Greenville, I went to Greenville, and this is a beautiful city. They got a very beautiful seaport and all of that. But do you have any idea? Did Madam Shirley have any plan that was working, that young guys were working on concerning that road and all of that? And my last question would be, do you think there are any plan to change the capital city from where it is now, looking at the landscape? What are some of the strategies that public will have put into place if you're not going to change the place, but the land, like people just build anywhere in the alley, all of that, people build on the drainages? Don't you think these are some of the reasons why our roads are quickly eroding And like the stuff I saw getting building there for that road in Vatan, coming all the way to Seyantan, going to Vatan, that road not gonna last because it's gonna be eroded again because of the drainage. The drainage is black. They're not dealing with the main issue for the road. So obviously, in 1 year from now, we're gonna see the same damages reoccurring. Do you think there's any plan, that this government had or previous government had to really change the capital city from where it is, looking at the capital city as we speak, that we are clustered. There is no way out. What you think? What is your analysis on all of these?
Yeah, previously when we were not here, we discussed that. But when I was at Ministry of Public Works, Ellen had this program that all of the county capitals should be connected by paved roads. Based on that, we had opportunity to sit with the Japanese and other partners, and we came up with a total budget of 1.5 billion, 1.2 billion, in fact, to do what you call the ring road for the entire country. Because when they did the binding constraint for the Millennium Challenge, road connectivity was one of the binding constraints. So when we did that proposal, Ellen constituted, I think, a 7-man delegation, and we traveled to China, India, Saudi Arabia to see what we could muscle out. The only group that showed interest was the Chinese. So we sat with the Chinese Export and Import Bank of China president. We had a discussion with them. In fact, we had a discussion with the Chinese ambassador before we even left. And the issue was, hey, we can give you the money. Even if you agree on our terms, we can give you 50% of that of the money you want. And their demand was that we should give them absolute control over the Wologisi Mountain or the Wologisi Range. And we said the president had to make that determination. And Ellen, in her wisdom, did not accept that. So that did not go through. So yes, there's a program on the ground that if Public Works can pick up and they can implement that. As far as plan is concerned, for the last 365 days, I have not seen any strategic plan coming out of Public Works. Maybe they have, or maybe they're developing it. But you cannot develop such a plan with in the absence of the key players that are in the sector, especially the private sector. We are in the private sector practicing engineering and designing. But as far as I'm concerned, I haven't seen that. Maybe they are developing. The only thing I heard after a couple of meetings and after a couple of talks, the president in Lofa just the other day announced that there will be an infrastructure conference, and the output of that infrastructure conference will be an infrastructure agenda for the country, because the roads are bad. And again, road is not only the infrastructure. We have telecommunication, we have electricity, so it's not only roads alone, but the road plays a very primary role in the development of the country. So we are hoping that it should not be another political statement, but it should be a statement that you will bring all the players in one room, and together we can develop an agenda for our country. But to answer your question squarely, there's nothing now on the books from Public Works that I have seen.
So, Liberal, can I squeeze the one in real quick? If it were you in the room and the Wologisi Mountain comes up as a president, what would be your decision?
Sincerely, that is our last frontier for our huge deposit of minerals in country. So I will not easily just waive it like that. I will have some terms and agreement around it. I will not just exclusively give it to them, but we can do what you call cost sharing, and we do joint venture in investing into what we want to give all of you Wologisi. And that if I was faced with that decision, that's the kind of decision I would take. I will not just waive it to them 100%. And I know Ellen thought it through and that's why she didn't wave it to them.
Any more Walter Carter say the Tabata revenue is back. Any more Tabata from you, Mr. Revenue?
but they show, you guys can go
Okay,
because yeah.
Mr. So, good evening. Thank you for joining us. What's on your plate? Any question, any comment on the bridge collapse that today?
My plate too has collapsed. So
You see.
I want to see how we can put that.
So I call one of our brother today. I call one of our brother today in Liberia, and I say,
Mr. So did not answer.
yeah, but I want you to answer.
I'm
I
speaking.
said,
So what we gotta do? We talk about national issue. You talking about your brother? What kind of man is it?
okay, go ahead. Let's hear from you.
These are some of the problems that we have in the country. We talk about national issue. Look, Minister Smith, this is, and this is what I don't like. This sort of crisis, always, we're not good at managing crisis, and we should, first of all, we need to avoid crisis. I think you had the opportunity to have read a statement coming from the Ministry of Public Works. You saw it?
Mm.
This is unbelievable.
I didn't see it.
And I hope, like we are hearing the
You can put it on, you have it.
You ain't get it. You ain't get it. You're not allowed to put anything out that is contrary.
I think maybe I need to copy or paste and put it in something. And I hope that what we are hearing, hopefully the president is in the process of making some really shake up a issue really, really happen. The statement today from the Ministry of Public Works, they're trying to blame a poor security man for not enforcing, even though in their own words, they didn't just such. And I like how you are pushing, because this guy, he's another person always, he doesn't want you to, he wants you to speak his way. Just go on the type Ministry of Public Works, the Facebook page, your man Gideon or Gooding, whatever, the issue a statement. These people, they saw this thing coming. They went on an assessment. They did everything. And he coming back to say why security man. When you go assess, there's a danger. And in order to avoid that danger, there will be measures put in place to make sure you tackle that problem or you find some sort of solution. But what they are saying now, if you look at a statement, they are like trying to blame the poor security man because he allows this truck because it's overweight. Come on. That's if a government says this thing should not happen, that one person will enforce that. There are other regulatory arms that will make sure they will ensure that this thing is the certain vehicles with certain capacity that shouldn't, and there must be no exception. That wasn't done. But I'm shocked, based. I didn't hear that part. The president recent statement, like you were talking about, if we could avoid this kind of thing. And I'm surprised, man, like you being on the transition, the reason you tap people expertise is to help potentially, not necessarily you on the transition to be part of the government, but when you bring professionals on board, I think these things have been something to have been discussed. It comes with the vision, your vision for the country, where you want to see the country going, where you want to take the country. But after 9 more 10 months, and you want to talk about how you call it, a infrastructure, whatever conference, or what is this? That's lack of leadership, guys. Let's just put it as it is. You already. That should be the first thing to be put out there. That should be the first thing, and not just only here alone, but we're seeing that been happening from time to time. But I think Madam Sally really did it, because if you look at Burundi, the reason that's the same problem Burundi in today. The Chinese, they are very exploitative, and they always take advantage of these poor countries. Burundi airport down right now, they're working for the Chinese, and they will work until some of the children and they have not been born until that's exactly what they were trying to do with Wologisi. But I think, like what you said, And like we are hearing, hopefully the president it will not be like George we are to allow certain things because people feels entitlement because they were the voices and they brought him to power. So they just think they will have this sort of free pass. But I think it was a good thing for men like you, work in the previous government with the experience with the real inner work, uh, to have taken a second thought. Because in your first phase of everything, you want to shine, you want to put out the best. But that's why it is. If you are a person who can't hold back, like brand people, they don't like you. If you can't say yes to A, like this, the lie of the liberals and thing, then they don't want to say anything for people to feel bad about them. Go or calm down. They will not like you. And that's why our country, that's why the society is here like this. They don't want anybody to raise their finger to say, no, chief, let's do it this way. Then you want to be the one to, maybe you want to take their job now. But I read this
So
here. It did not put forward any solution. It did not
yeah.
tell us anything here. Something I come in 1 second. I know you're feeling very uncomfortable now, but you can deal with that. I can remember, was that which year, 2020 something? You went to Grand Gita. You did a survey. You take a walk. It's a sister River Bridge. I'm sorry to say, sooner or later too, we would not even have a place to go. Since the 60 or whatever built that bridge, can you tell me anybody had ever gone there to see what happened to it? No, we put it there, we forget about it. The only time we think about things in our country and even in our own society, that's what we do. When it's gone down the hill, then we try to find solution to it. Why should we always behave like that? Why should we? For them to put out a kind of statement here.
I'm trying to look for that statement, Mr. So.
Oh, it's on. Just go on the Facebook page, Ministry of Public Works.
Okay, then a Facebook page. I went to the main page. I didn't see it.
No, the statement. I'm not too sure if it's from the minister, but it's ridiculous. That statement is ridiculous, to be honest.
If it is on the official Facebook page, who will put it there? It should be monitored. If not, that's not an excuse. This is how your find excuses. What you mean?
Mr. So I said it was ridiculous. What do you want me to say?
It said Ministry of Public Works. He said,
yeah, but it didn't say minister. It said Minister of Public Works. It didn't say minister sign. It says sign.
But it was that press release cannot come up without the approval of the minister.
The only thing I'm saying here, the reason why I'm saying that is ridiculous. And let me put this up again. I'll put series of picture up. So here is the minister here walking on the same bridge. Okay. Here is the deputy minister on the same bridge. Having had a conversation with the people. Okay. So here is the accident today of the same bridge. Now, the accident, the truck were coming from that side where the people standing. Is there anything on there to tell anybody what the restriction was? This is what they're saying here. They said they have a stakeholder, including representative of the joint security, to ensure adherence to the bridge low capacity regulation. Where is it? So the men from Total that were not part of the joint security, that the men where you were telling said don't go there. But these are some of the things we're talking about. He was on that bridge. And if the people told you we can't have this amount of weight going on that bridge, the first thing, if he was engineer, the first thing he would have told those people is, okay, put the sign up. Even if you're going to paint it on a cardboard, put it up. Let the people see it. That's how you're going to have to deal with this kind of stuff. But now you're going to write here to say you have a joint security meeting, and so the joint security, who's going to take the blame now? They're not taking these things serious, and that's what I asked Victor earlier. But go ahead, Mr. Smith. I don't know whether you've seen the post. Thank you, Mr. So, for pointing that out.
You saw it and on purpose.
But thank you, Mr. So. Thank you, Mr. So, for pointing that out. But we're not going to The people they were
Mr. So you need to put that statement on. Let's look at it together.
Let me see here. Let me share here.
Yeah,
And that's what
share
he's
it,
trying to
listen.
do here. He's trying to
the man
avoid
not
people.
running the show, Victor. That me
You
running
let
the
him
show.
share it. Let him share that statement.
Okay,
Because,
let him ask for permission. Let him ask for permission.
okay, okay,
Permission
Samson, so
for who?
please allow him
I
to
permission from Mr. So, from Mr. To. Ask the permission. Ask the
Mr.
permission.
Mr. To, can
Mr.
you allow
So,
Mr.
don't
So
put
to
anything
post
on.
it?
Permission denied.
Let me see. You know what? You know what? I would just put it up.
Is this the Supreme Court of Liberia? Because I don't know.
Yeah, and how you call it that? That might
Okay, somebody saying here that there was what's his Moluba saying here that Mr. To, there was a sign both sides of the bridge. Moluba, can you explain more on that? What did the sign say? What did it say? Moluba, please tell us more. What did the sign say? And if you have a picture of those signs, please put them
Send
up.
a sign. Was it a written sign or sign that told you say this is the amount of load that's supposed to go on the bridge?
I just copy and paste it right in our
All right, you want me to read it or are you going to read it? The Minister of Public Work of the Republic of Liberia, blah, 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 press statement. Minister of Public Work expressed great concern regarding the recent collapse of the ITI bridge, which had undergone extensive repair by the ministry bridge unit. Why the ministry?
I think I need to read it. That guy, he want to leave some words.
No, I'm not leaving nothing. Okay, read it.
Yeah, let me read.
But no, I will read it. I will read it. I will read it. I will read it. And so if I see something,
man, let me read the thing.
No, because you start reading and start putting the president knee on it. The president said it got nothing to do with it.
Who talk about president?
What talking about Joseph Boakai, my man?
Why I can't even talk about him? So this is a statement. The statement reads, press statement. That's about 11 hours ago. The Ministry of Public Works expresses grave concern regarding the recent collapse of the ITI bridge, which had undergone extensive repair. We don't know what kind of repair it is, by the Ministry Bridge Unit. While the ministry is grateful that no lives were lost in the incident, it remains deeply troubled by the unfortunate development. Earlier in November, the ITI bridge faced severe overt flooding and unusual vibrations. So these were indicators, right? They were indicators. It's not hidden. Samson wouldn't point out those things there. Raising concerns about its structural integrity. Structural integrity. You, as an engineer, when it says structural integrity, you will really break it down for us.
Yeah.
And promoting the ministry to intervene. In response, the bridge unit promptly decommissioned the bridge, and conducted repairs ahead of schedule. Damaged components were replaced and the structures underwent a thorough inspection by the ministry before being deemed fit for relaunch. Okay. As part of the ministry's commitment to public safety, the ministry convened a conference with the community stakeholders, including representatives of the joint security, to ensure adherence to the bridge low capacity regulation. During the conference, the ministry emphasized that the ITI bridge could accommodate a maximum load of 25 tons. This includes the weight of a truck, typically to 15 tons, and an additional 10 tons of cargo. The Joint Security led by Commander Eric Zor was tasked with enforcing this weight limit to safeguard the bridge against overloading. It is with great disappointment that the ministry noted that the collapse of the bridge due to passage of a low bag carrying excavated, an act that flagrantly violated the established tonnage regulations. The ministry also regrets to note that despite prior assurances from Commander Zor, are you kidding me? Commander Zor? Jesus Christ. Regarding the joint security vigilance, this incident occurred undermining the ministry's preventive measures and resulting in the destructions of critical public infrastructure. Preliminary assessment shows that the low bag of excavated weigh more than 50 tons, a weight that is twice the 25 tons limit. The Ministry of Public Works reaffirmed its commitment to ensuring the safety and durability of public infrastructure. It urges all stakeholders, especially the regulatory bodies, to uphold their responsibilities in protecting national assets. Further investigations are underway to determine the circumstances surrounding this incident and appropriate action will be taken to prevent on my foot.
Thank you.
Mr.
Thank
Toe,
you.
first question. First question. How would the security man determine that the truck that was coming was carrying a 25 tons load? On what means?
Well, I can answer that. I can answer that for you.
You were the security man there?
So,
How
the
a security
first
man who's not an engineer, you don't have any skill there to determine the weight of the truck. You just put a rating there and say, hey, 25 tons must be the maximum. How
50,000 pounds.
Yeah. How in the world would you want this security man to determine that weight? Is it by looking?
I think what the minister and his people are trying to do here again, and I'm not saying that the president will whatever his decision he makes up to them, but I think most likely, and we're not gonna sugarcoat it here. I think Minister Gideon trying to cover himself but with this kind of ridiculous statement here, because by you inviting the security apparatus in Liberia, all of the security, let's just say all of them, and their top official agrees, it's what's the mechanism you have for them to determine what weight? Because you're asking there, you're saying that nothing over 50,000 pounds should go on this bridge. If you're going to make that statement, you provide to those who are going to be at the gate a means of making sure that these trucks or whatever coming in, they are less than 50,000 pounds, unless you're going to have a list of trucks that most of the manufacturer will tell you how their weight, and you have the picture of the truck on the wall, and you put each of them, you put their weight on it, on that, so they can look at it. So okay, there are truck coming in, going out. Okay, the truck according to the manufacturer.
Nothing told you gave me a hypothetical answer.
But what if all of those things were done? The problem in Liberia, we need to also acknowledge that people take bribe to allow look at the bridge and look at the truck that this guy carrying on that bridge. Common sense will tell you that that particular bridge cannot hold that particular truck, that weight.
No.
Common sense.
Terry, that corridor, for your information, is a logging corridor. And those guys have experience on taking those type of equipment across that bridge before it collapsed. They've been doing it.
I don't think that's the first time.
It's not the first time. It's not the first time. But if you're saying that the bridge was not being re-rated, right? How would the security guy at the gate, who used to seeing these kind of truck plying this road, know that this guy is above or below this prescription of load that has been asked by Public Works? You don't have a moving skill there.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe the regulation were given to them as to what kind of truck should pass. We don't know. We're still speculating. But
No, Terry,
I'm
we're
not
not
trying.
speculating. Terry, we're not speculating. This is what they wrote themselves.
Yeah, they wrote it
Nothing,
themselves.
nothing over 50,000 pounds should go across the road. I mean,
Yeah,
should go across the bridge.
the speculation here is whether if there was a tonnage prescription to give the security guards the view as to what kind of weight that's supposed to plow that particular bridge, right?
Terry,
So we
they
just
say here the
we
minute they,
speculating that
no, we're not speculating. The red bridge
Terry,
was so rare
you
here.
and your Samson tool, do your speculation. He's not
yeah,
even with
listen
you
now,
on this side
can
here.
I give can I
Don't do
get my
this thing
own a
for
little
open.
tap of that and then
Quiet. We'll just cut will come for
I'm
you.
not
Quiet.
supporting Guinea because the mistake I think he made too is that is a bridge recondition. What Mr. Smith said is a reconditioned bridge. So apparently he might have said that certain trucks should not pass on this bridge because the bridge has been reconditioned and is not strong enough to carry the previous weight it used to carry. Obviously, these security guards on ground will definitely take bribe and think to let those vehicles pass. But I think his failure will be he temporarily fixed a bridge that he shouldn't have fixed temporarily. That I believe because he knows the condition of the bridge, and apparently they just went and hurriedly fixed something with cheap parts just to keep it on stay until they can do formal rear repairs. But the area I don't want to agree to is that the security people on guard was not aware of the amount of tonnage that's supposed to already plow on that bridge. I don't want to. I don't want to agree with that.
No.
So,
We're not disputing. What we're saying, Terry, is that even if the security were told that nothing over 50,000 pounds should go on the bridge, how would the security guy know the truck that you saw here? They think here, Terry. Let me put it up again. The truck here.
I'm looking at it right on my phone.
Okay. How would the security guy know that this thing is more than 50,000 pounds?
Those guys who work to that place, Mr. Toe, they are aware of the kind of trucks that go on that bridge.
all right. Let
Those
me
guys are
continue a little
aware.
bit.
That is their job.
So I don't want. I'm not a sort of assumption person assuming that they are aware. You know, these things are very critical and technical thing, and we see here there are certain quarters, certain neighborhoods, certain trucks. You see that indicator, you see a sign. This number of foot, even bridge over part, this number of height, this number of plate, even a McDonald's. McDonald's we go to and order that drive through. What do? There's some sort of measurement, there's some sort of indicators to tell
I
you
agree.
this
Yeah.
can go, this can go.
Yes.
One of the problems in our country is this sort of enforcement aspect here. You know, we just writing on paper, we just write it, and for he to even be so specific about this individuals, Eric Zoe. So Eric Zoe, that's that monument, he will be standing there 24 hours. He can't get shower to see what kind of truck coming. It's because there was no specific plan as with the ministry or other regulatory arm to ensure to make sure that that regulation, that piece of information that they were putting forward is enforced. In fact, if we go further to ask, since that time, have they gone there to do any checkup to make sure whether these regulations were being enforced? If you come to realize, absolutely not. So he shouldn't come dump his stuff on this.
One of our viewer has written that the security were told not to allow any flatbed with any equipment on it to cross the bridge. Every truck should be offloaded and each truck or equipment cross separately. Now, if that's the case, can you tell us then what happened? What went wrong? What went wrong?
That's not what the minister's statement said.
No.
The minister's statement was just vague that security area trucks should make sure that no truck will
I'm coming close to the show now. Got a lot of things coming up right now.
They're gonna close the show.
They pray.
So then why are you closing the show?
I
Because
think-
why you
because
Yeah.
the people writing now the president did it. No. That's what
No,
we
yeah,
hear
we're
for.
not talking about the
you need to
president.
stop this sort of
I
behavior.
think, I think, gentlemen, that press statement was just a rush through press statement,
Right.
just to
Right.
put something up.
So let me ask you,
It
Minister.
was not
Let me put you on the
thoughtful.
spot.
Can you
Let
give
me
me
put you on
let
the
me
spot.
talk, please?
Let me put the minister on the spot. If you are a minister, what kinds of press statement will you have released? Sir?
Wow.
Don't put me in that position.
Okay.
The guys at the ministry are not supposed to be acting. Don't make me. If I start telling them what to do now, they'll be thinking I'm doing the work.
Okay. All right. Let's forget it.
So,
Go ahead. Make a statement.
yeah. So what I was saying, that statement they put out was a rush statement. They didn't think it through, so they just had to say something. But there's no way that the zoo officer zoo could determine that a flatbed would be having only 25 tons. A flatbed can be there and be on 20 tons. A flatbed can be there and can be over 25 tons. So there was no means for him to determine that. Even it could be carrying some equipment, would still be on 25 tons. But knowing that there was no skill to qualify whatever load are going across, they were done first principle. They were applied first principle by using crossbars to stop anything higher than 14 feet going across that bridge.
One second.
They were putting several crossbars over the bridge, welded there firmly. Because if I see that the thing I'm carrying is more than 14 feet, I will not go through. So I'll be forced to take down the equipment to cross one at a time. Those are simple things that you are done. But you can't lay this on the foot of this security man. I think Paulo was erred, or Paulo was just dropped the ball there, and that what happened. Come where may, let Paulo West get to work now and get his problem solved. And in fact, if they made that repair, to what extent did they make that repair? Based on what calculations
That's
that
my
they
point.
used
That's
to
my argument.
replace those transits that they replaced?
Yeah,
They
because
could replace the transient, they could replace a transient that look like it, but it's not all thing that quacks the dog, walk the dog is a dog. So that could be
to
another
Mr.
problem
Smith.
on how public works.
Yeah,
So it
Mr.
has
Smith.
a lot of implications that we all got to look at and do not put it on the poor man. That's what I would say on that.
So I think
Yeah, Mr. Smith.
Minister
Mr.
Gideon,
Smith,
the
can I
last time
ask you a
calling
question?
that. So
Was
the
that
Minister of
bridge
Public Works calling.
wasn't that bridge used before by these same truck drivers with the same amount of tonnage?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It being used.
Yeah.
It's a
So
major corridor.
why then they just repair it and then all of a sudden just one passing on it or two or three, I don't know how many.
The only
It just
one.
collapsed.
That's the point we've been making all night.
That's
Most
the point.
likely, it has to be the repair
I know,
work that was done.
But even repair now, so why now?
Agree with that one. That
Okay.
apparently somebody stole money because somebody wanted to eat some money, so they put
Liberia.
Come on.
Baba
Regular
tea
money
pipe.
that is easy.
Take
Forget
for
about that
example
one.
now.
No money
Take for
business in
example,
that
you're
one.
supposed to buy some kind of original part to hold certain part on the
The
bridge. You
eyes
go
of
buy
No.
man,
temporary.
the eyes of man, the person you giving a contract to, you don't know that was your brother. No, that I'm a brother.
No, Terry.
The minister
Wow.
is
Yeah.
The transit they used to do the repair perhaps was not the transit from the original set because they don't have Billy Bridge Pass in Liberia. But even if they have used that particular one, they should have reduced the spacing instead of going by the original spacing. These are all speculation I'm making from my own experience. If the original was being spaced by 10 feet and it brought another one that was not the original, then you can reduce a 5 feet interval. It will create more strength and stability on the bridge. But they just brought it and put it where it was, And then
Even
the
even
first stop
even
to
as
me,
if
So,
you look
Labor,
under
your friend want to talk.
who my friend?
Gideon, the minister. Go ahead.
No, we want water cutter
Mr.
come here and
So,
come in.
Mr. So, thank you for
There we
having me,
go.
and
There
let
we
me say
go.
hi to the panelists. I think this has become a learned behavior. The shifting blame syndrome in this government has become a learned behavior. We know that the president from former administration on Ellen Johnson said that he shifted all the blame to Ellen, and when they came to the good part, then he, implicated himself on the good side of it. The bad side was shifted to Ellen. We see this government is surrogates. Now the ministers are all shifting blame now on pure, common security men. Like the surrogates, do when the president is performing desperately, and his skill is like the clueless nature of this president. We see the surrogate come here and put the blame on his deputies and people that are around him. It's about time we call a spade a spade. I think this government is on the wrong footing. This government is not serious at all in all aspects of their arrest agenda.
We'll be there for 6
They have
years.
not done
It's got a long way to
anything
go.
substantial to tell Liberian people in 1 year that they actually came to rescue Liberian people. And unfortunately, for those people that promoted, that sold us this bad product, for them to sit on shows and continue to shield this old man who is so inept. You understand? And shift blame on his
Mr. So,
on his deputy.
Mr. So, we will not allow Mr.
The
So,
worker does not know
Mr.
nothing
So,
he's doing. The people
Mr. So,
around him
you need to
control
cut it
him.
off
They
now.
do
Let me make
exactly
my
what they
point,
want
and
to
let's have
do,
a
and
Mr.
that's why the
So.
country is going the way it's going.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
but
guys.
yeah, but again, Mr.
The
Yeah,
other
caller.
Okay, but
the other guy
Mr. So, let him know. Let him know time have elapsed on him.
in the street.
Mr. CEO,
Because they
the
stole,
man who is riding on your phone on my
the
show,
so-called police
have,
that's supposed to be protecting the people, they're only
So-
protecting or how you call it, big government officials, and not even the population.
Hold on 1 second, Keta. Hold on 1 second. So, Liberal.
yeah, we allow people to speak only for a certain time. His time is
But no,
over.
listen now. Don't get hyper. You're not getting no job. Also remember, this man is an analyst.
When you walk on, everybody here will come on TV. When
It
you walk
doesn't
on, let him come.
matter. You
let him come
not
on
call
TV.
here multiple times, and I will keep you on the phone for 15,
You
20
kick me
minutes.
out. Every
You
time,
go,
2
you
minutes, you
swallow,
kick
you
me
come
out.
back, you call. I will pick up your phone. We are talking about a country, please.
Okay, Mr. So, I'm way past time. So please let me tell Walter Carter, thank you very much. I'll be back again tomorrow. Walter Carter can join us. Thank you very much. Let me go ahead and start the closing.
I'm sorry, the laborer, and a celebrity. I just wanted for you to keep your celebrity.
Okay, you got 2 minutes. You got 2
Yeah.
more minutes.
Okay, you say more.
You got 2 more minutes.
I don't want you to contaminate yourself with that inept precedent that you put there. Just concede.
Oh, okay.
Say we made a mistake.
Mr. So, you got to cut him off now.
Thank you very much, Mr. So.
Thank you, Walter Carter. Thank you very much.
Wow.
See, this is why he passed behind the back door to call Mr. So. Terry, let's hear your closing. So we get out of here. But first of all, I really appreciate you coming in as usual. Anyway, let's hear your closings.
Yeah, I just wanted to come and listen to you guys, and I like to hear engineering work because myself, I don't know anything about engineering. One day, plank say I know how to put it in the ground, but however, from what we see on face value and other things we read a little bit, we can. Yeah, but it was a very good discussion you guys had. We listened a lot, but I think that Giddings, for me, I think Giddings need to go. I don't think that guy, once he over there will be no real project that the president will do successfully, because from the 22 million, it's a sign, it's a red flag that Gideon is not going to effectually affect the president's agenda. But however, lastly, I think it's time for the Wologisi Mountain to be sold. You stop dragging this thing every day. That our last result is that when the country is 170
You're not
something
from
years
Lofa
old.
County. Why you want Lofa people to sell their team for?
I was in Lofa. I let a place, labor, and you go to Lofa, nothing there. The place is dry. It's very dry, you know. But sell Wodogisi so our country can get developed. Thank you, labor, for the show.
Mr. So and Mr. Smith, who will close it on?
No, I will go. Then the minister will kind of cap everything for us.
All right, go ahead.
So,
Let's hear what you got to say. Please be gentle to the show. Be gentle to the father of the nation as we speak on Liberian issue tonight.
I should be what?
Be gentle with your comments to the father of the nation in connecting with the government and the governing process.
Is there any other thing you want me to do before I speak?
No, go ahead, speak. I'm listening.
Okay. So I think all of us have a responsibility, especially this 2025. Whether you are a talk show host, whether you are a surrogate, whether you are a mouthpiece or watchpiece for the president, for the opposition, as long we find ourselves in this position of exchange of information, talk on things, we gotta be honest with ourselves and take our own emotions out of this national issue. Because other than that, we will not move anywhere. And Liberian politicians, officials, unwillingness to always take responsibility is bad. We need to stop that, because if you're a minister somewhere, even if you're a junior minister, if any of your staff, anything goes wrong, you step up to the task and take responsibility. That is the willingness to get things done, to resolve things. But you always want to shift things when it's good. Like what Terry said, somebody was saying when it's good, then you do it, but when it's bad, then you want to wash your hand out. So we hope 2025, we want to see good things coming out of Liberia, to not only infrastructure, there's many social issues. Every now and then you watch, you listen to, monitor the social media, people being killed, people, a lot of things happening. So, and we all know government is the largest intervention when it comes to getting things done in most third world countries like Liberia as well. So I think it is time that this administration review her vision for the next year. And I hope, I'm not sure, let me just put a question and then Minister Smith can wrap it up. I'm not sure, Minister Smith, what were the conversation here? Having you on that transition, knowing your background, where you are coming from. My guess or my thought could be, okay, infrastructure, his vision to the country, roll. I thought the purpose of you and many others was to lay out a specific agenda, to send a proposal, to send your own thoughts, and they possibly can review it and then put it into action. And that's the work of the president. The president, he's the chief administrator of the country. He runs the administrative functionaries of government. And so it is a job to get people from different backgrounds and make their plans. That plan will becomes like a vision to say, okay, we get maybe 200-300 bridges cross country, 50 main bridges on the highway. These things might be done. If you talk about road, if you want market vendors to get their produce to town, they must be able to have asset. So I'm wondering, was there any specific, or it is the same thing? Our people, they like to use people as a scapegoat to get their way through. Take Google people, put them somewhere. When time comes to do the work, then they take them out, they kick them out, then they bring different group of people there who would just be yes to them. I'm wondering whether was there any conversation or whether there were recommendation from that sort of professional group that form part of the transition. Thank you, Mr. Toh.
Thank you, Mr. So. We appreciate that wonderful question. But Mr. Smith is not going to have the opportunity to answer that kind of long question here tonight. When you want to know what happened between you and the transition team and what have you, you will tell your own. Mr. Smith, Please, you got 2 minutes. I even want to give you 3 minutes because you answered my question. So,
Okay. Firstly, the issue of
no, on a
Wologisi.
very serious note, one last question, Mr. Smith. You think what we just read here from the minister, you think there might be some sort of a separation of idea at the ministry tonight? Or you don't think, you think they're still on the same, on senior core, you think?
Separation of idea in terms of
In
who
terms
wrote
of
what?
with this, with what is written here, you think that was passed from the minister to the deputy, technical deputy, and the minister? You think they're on the same page here from what we just read?
I don't think so.
Because you know both of them real well.
Yeah, I don't think Prince had any input in that press release.
I
Until he can
I
tell me.
I thought so too, because Prince would not
Mm.
have
No,
allowed this.
no, Prince will not have put in his signature on this kind of reckless press release.
Right. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
It's,
Give us
it's
your
too,
close.
yeah, it's too reckless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said that too.
Yeah. With Mr. Collins, the Wologisi, we have not been protective of the Wologisi Mountain. We have a bad experience from what happened in Lamco, Bomb Mines, and the National Iron Ore Company in Bombing Hills. That's what makes us to be afraid on how we're going to concessionalize the Wologisi Mountain. We know the Wologisi Mountain has high pressure minerals. It's not only iron ore, but there are huge deposits of other minerals that are there. And if we're going to go in there, we got to be adequately prepared that we can get the maximum out of it. So we don't want to rush into it. I think the government has to sit down, put a think tank together to really think through that, because we have a lot of resources that can help us develop our country. So Wologisi Mountain is still out there, and we can do the best we can do about it. And again, I just want to admonish all of us that, yeah, we must have our political differences, must have a disagreement, but the office of the president and the presidency, we should be able to respect the president for who he is.
Right.
And we should approach him because he as a leader. I would not appreciate somebody say, oh, our president is inept and all those kind of strong words. He has lieutenants, and the lieutenants have to do the work. And if they don't do the work, it is his responsibility to reorganize his team. But we on the outside must give him all the support that we can for the sake of our country in the office of the president. So let's consider that. Polo as an institution need to do better. I saw something like a strategic plan in there, and Guinness and never shared that, but I see maybe a few words. But Polo got to stop acting like they're a fire truck. They should make sure they organize themselves for this work, because infrastructure is a major tangible that any country can boast of. And if we want to grow in our country, we must be able to take our infrastructure development seriously. We must be able to put in the adequate funding to get things moving. Other than that, everything we're doing is just a band-aid solution. And for me, I really, really don't appreciate the idea that we keep on taking loans and loans and loans from the World Bank. And you will find that we'll become indebted to the World Bank so much that they will be making decisions for us. If you read the book, The Economic Hitman, if you ever read that book, you will feel bad what the West did to the underdeveloped country. They enslaved us financially, and I think we should stop that. With our local resource mobilization, we can do the best we can to really improve public works. You asked about transition. Yes, I work on the transition. I gave them my mechanic proposals on what public works could do. They said, no, we don't want you to public works. We want you to go to the Ministry of Transport. I told them, look, I'm not part of, I don't know much about transport, but if that way you want me to do, I'll just go and write a report for them from the minister and give it to you guys. But I mean, it was a political gimmick, so we don't want to even dwell on that. we can make our contribution outside of government. So we are not deterred by us not going to Minister of Public Works or being nominated. But we can do, I think in the private sector, you have the leverage to do more. So I prefer to practice in the private sector. When I'm asked for national duty, then I would think about it. But what I'm doing now is to pay more attention to my business and how well I can contribute to the development of our country. So that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm adequately doing, and that's what I'm very into now. So, Mr. So, that is where the transition is. It was a pure political setup, political game. People were misplaced, but again, that's history now. We are still here, and we can still make our contribution. So finally, I want to thank you all again. Thank you, Samson, too, for the opportunity given me while I'm here to be on your show most of the time. We
So
gotta keep.
why? So one second, please.
Mr. Soul, please don't interrupt. The minister is speaking. He's telling the host, the liberal, telling, thank you. Why you want to come and jump in? Mr. Soul, Mr. Smith, go ahead.
I can break for Mr. Soul to speak.
No. We're not gonna break for him. Go ahead. Finish your statement.
Yeah, Mr. Soul, I want to thank you very much too for the opportunity given me
good
sometime.
night, Mr. Smith. Thank you very much.
To come on your show. But all of us, irrespective of where we are, we have one common denominator is Liberia. And we must always do the best to develop our country. That's my final closing. So thank you very much again, and you all have a good night.
Thank you, Minister Smith. We really do appreciate it, because this bridge, the collapse of the bridge, for me, I'm glad that you were here and we were able to go into it. But one of the interesting,
can I say something? So if you are given the 22 million to just rehabilitate the road, Mr. Smith, do you think the roads will have been rehabilitated properly by now, and during the rainy season we wouldn't have problem as the way it happened the gone time?
I wouldn't have promised I wouldn't have gone to that 100-day delivery. I will convince the president not to consider the road as one of the delivery in 100 days, because it requires enough studies, enough planning process, enough procurement processes to be in place before you can roll out that $22 million. So if I'm in a situation, I won't do it. I will do a long-term plan for that money and get something better out of it.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Smith. I know that hopefully Mr. Toll will be in Liberia sometimes, and we'll get together. No, but it seemed to me
this time you come, you should bring Mr. Soul back.
Well, for what? They may not come. We move our office and move. He know where our new office is. He know the play anyway.
So then there you be he doesn't know.
They pay the rent. He's signing the check for the office.
You say, I know the new office. Sit down there.
Your good night. Yeah, you two people and I come. Anyway, folks, again, Mr. Soul, Mr. Smith, and Mr. Collins, thank you guys.
Is it true that the president will be making a technical stop in Sierra Leone before returning to Liberia tomorrow?
I don't know that.
I don't know that. But what kind of technical stuff is he going to make in Sierra Leone?
And that's the word being used. Being told. I don't know how true it is to say technical.
What technical stuff you got to do in Sierra Leone?
Mr. Smith? Politicians have
so that Keto gave you that information.
I know.
No. Keto just I'm just only telling you what we gathering. We don't know, but I know
it's possible.
Be returning, but we are hearing he should be making a transit in Sierra Leone, and that is for what reason?
Well, he just quite recently left Sierra Leone.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Mr. Smith, I know where you're going. He's coming be our president Sierra Leone now. I know exactly where you're going.
No,
so
but
don't follow him.
No, but he was in Sierra Leone a couple of weeks ago. Sometime in December, he was in Sierra Leone.
The bottom line, the old man needs to sit down. These ugly planes flying all here and there, it's not necessary. You need to sit down. make use of the vice president.
Good
Make
night,
use of
Mr. So. We're way over time. I want to thank all of
Mr.
you.
So, a man who the people say die. What you got to worry about?
I know.
The people say the man dead. What the man got to worry
Smith,
about?
I don't know what your schedule look like tomorrow. Excuse me, but I will send an invitation out again tomorrow for us.
Yeah, Mr. Smith, you really did well, man. We enjoyed the show.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this. What I might want to do though, Mr. Nyano is here as well. So I might want to see if I can connect you and Mr. Nyano on this show. Let's just have fun.
Let me see. I haven't seen him. I haven't talked to him quite a while.
Yeah,
but I think he has another consultancy with Public Works. I think they, from what I'm hearing, they're doing real good. Basically, what they're trying to do, which is good, is to map out hydraulically the entire city of Monrovia and then the outskirts of Monrovia. What is going on with the hydraulics and what have you. And then in the process, I believe they will also try to identify all of the previous manholes and what people build on them, because you can tell from where the water is going, you will know what the low spot is. So if they do all of those things, I think it will be good. But I will talk to him, see if we can bring him on here as well. Other than that, Mr. So, any last word? Mr. Smith, Mr. Cullen, any last word before I take leave of any of you?
I'm good.
Keep the other one for the next time.
Okay. All right, Mr. Smith.
Mr. So, I will be trying to reach out to you tomorrow.
Thank you.
Why you let me? Okay. Samson, I see you. Good night. What?
Good night, Mr. Smith. Thank you very much for providing all of the wonderful, wonderful conversation here tonight. Again, folks, Samson told Labro Pablo, I want to thank all of you. We're way past time, but we came late anyhow. Walter Carter, Mona, Moluba, Ma Esther, Ma Fatuma, thank you guys very much. We appreciate it. And please join us again tomorrow as we come out to talk some wonderful, wonderful thing. We might want to repeat this truck incident again, but I'm hoping to have some good engineer who are way above my level. Bring them on here and have a conversation. Thank you very much, and I'll say good night to all of you.
Ateito nalukio na kati ya Kinshasa bobi mama na badi na